Welcome back to another episode of Dub's Doing Stuff. Today, we're going to do another oil change, because everything needs oils changed. This is our 2015 F-350 dually. This one has the extra heavy gross vehicle weight rating package, so we can haul up to 14,000 pounds. But we use this to haul our Host Yukon 2022 model truck camper. So therefore we got this truck for that, but we're getting ready for a trip in a couple of weeks, so gonna get the oil changed to freshen it up. Even though it's not really due for it, we're gonna do it, filter and all that. But follow along if you want to watch how we do that. Not very complicated, but it is something that has to be done regularly. For this oil change, we're going to use Mobil 1. Now we're going to be using the Mobil 1 5W40 turbo diesel truck engine oil and the Mobil 1 M1 405A filter, and take care of that issue there and get the oil freshened up on this thing. Follow along, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to watch some more. We're going to be doing the transmission filter and oil soon, and that way you'll get notified. Comment if you got any comments, but yeah, hit the subscribe and like on there. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll start getting into it. Okay, we're here up underneath. You can see I got my usual rags. I got a catch bucket that I'm actually repurposing from the purchase of our boat. It had all the cleaning products in it, but it happens to be the right size for what we're doing, so it'll hold the 13 quarts that are in this thing. You can see the drain plug right here. We'll get a wrench on that and loosen that up. All right, so this is 16 millimeter on your socket to get this. At least this particular plug is. It may be different on yours, but on this one, we're just going to go ahead and hit it a few times to loosen it up, because these are not supposed to be super tight, and I've done the last few oil changes. So now this one, unlike our little Ranger, it may start coming out a little faster, but I think we're okay. Alrighty, move that bucket over a little bit. See the oil starting to come out there. Ah, it's a little hard on my fingers. The wrench back on it for just a minute. Keep a hold of your plug, don't drop it in your bucket, and make sure it is big enough. I mentioned earlier, this is about a 16 quart bucket, and I think there's about 13 quarts in this thing if it was bone dry. So just FYI, and there it comes. Get the oil changed out of here. And like I said, this oil wasn't quite due. It's only got about 3,000 miles on it, but it's been in here probably 6 months, so we're changing it to get ready for the coming camping and boating season. Okay, this is your oil drain plug removed. You notice that has a little rubber gasket in there. You want to make sure you inspect that and make sure there's no damage to it, and ensure that it is slightly pre-lubed as you put it back in, but just so you see what that is. Alright, so while it's draining out of the oil pan, you'll notice I've adjusted my bucket a little bit to get underneath the oil filter. This is the oil filter. This is the old Mobil 1 filter I have on here, so we're going to get ready to take it off. I've already checked it, and I can break it loose with my hands. I do have a tool for this, but you can try to do it yourself too. You can see I've got it turning. It'll come off of there in just a second. There we go. And don't be surprised if some oil comes out here as you start to take this down. If it does, that's why I got the bucket over there. There it comes. So we'll let that hang and dribble for just a minute. Slightly messy job. That's why I have the gloves. But it really isn't bad. We've already got the oil out, and then we're going to get the filter off. We'll put the new one on, plug the oil pan, and we're ready to put new fluid in. Straightforward. So here's the new oil filter. While we let things drain up underneath, let's go ahead and get this one ready. Pull it out of the box. Again, just like before, make sure you pop off the little plastic cover. We've seen videos online where people don't. So for this one, because it is going up in a vertical position, we can pre-fill it, unlike on our last video where you couldn't do it because it was going in sideways. So we're going to go ahead and put in some fresh oil, pre-fill the filter. If you see it's going down, don't just assume because it's at the top it's done. It's soaking through all the elements. So go ahead and take your time. Make sure it gets full. It's going down again. Primary reason for doing this is so that you don't starve your engine of oil while your oil pump tries to fill this thing. So if you go ahead and pre-fill it, you avoid that. You can see it's still going down slightly. Probably getting pretty good now. And we're going to call that good. We'll make the gasket wet with some fresh oil. Make sure you get all around the inner part of that gasket. Good and soaked. All right, filter's ready to go on. So you can tell we've given it a few minutes to drain. Everything's down to a slow drip, so at this point we can go ahead and start putting things back together. We'll go ahead and wipe this a little bit. There was some spillage that we had. I took off the filter. But you can see right here, it's still dribbling out a little bit, but that's okay. That's pretty much got it all. So we'll make sure that's lubricated for the rubber gasket on the plug, which I had hiding over here on the step. You see that's ready to go on. Clean. So we'll go ahead and put that back in there. That over. That thing is trying to... Alright, so we had to move the old filter out of the way before I spilled it all over the floor. So I'll go ahead and do this in. I'm using my hand just to put this in, not an electric power tool, because I want to make sure this does not cross thread as it goes back in. And once I feel it seating onto the oil pan, I'll reach around and grab my ratchet, switch it to tighten, and we'll tighten this up. Give it a little bit of snugging, and that should do it. Take a rag and wipe up the last oil spot right there. Gives us a good reference then for when we come back to check it after it's run a few minutes. Make sure there's no leaking going on. There shouldn't be, obviously, but we're going to go ahead and make sure we got everything cleaned up right there. Okay, next we'll clean up the mating surface for the new filter, and we'll put that on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and wipe off the mating surface here for the filter now. Make sure this is good and clean. Make sure the old filter gasket is not stuck here. That's important to do. Go ahead and get your rag in here and make sure that's all wiped up. No grit, no grime, no nothing on here. And then you're going to take your full oil filter. Don't spill it. And you're going to come up here and you're going to slide that bad boy on there. I can do this one-handed, you can see, but the threads are really easy to get started. So just give that a spin. Get it on there. And again, this one is full. So we're going to take two hands. And we're going to tighten this only as tight as you can get it with your hand. Or do not go any tighter than that. Do not put any tools on here. There we go. All right. Wipe off any extra loose oil spots you may see somewhere, just so that you don't look at that when you're trying to check for leaks. Well, this truck has 172,000 miles on it, so it's got a little bit of age, but it's still running really good, and we like it. So all right, checking the dipstick here, you can see the hash marks. We're going for near the top of the hashes on this one. You can see there's a line above that too, but that's what we're going for. We'll go ahead and leave this out for now. We've got our oil fill. You didn't see that before. It says 10W30 on here, but it also says 5W40, which is what we're using, just to make sure that we follow the manufacturer's recommendations. Let me go get the oil. Okay, here we go. First 4 quarts going in. So we're going to put 12 quarts in, and from past experience, this thing takes 12.5 quarts roughly when doing an oil change. The book says 13.1, but we know that that's too much because some of that oil is still up in the engine. Your engine may vary, but we're going to start with 12 quarts, fire it up, let it run for a minute, and then we'll let it sit and check it. Okay, we've got 12 quarts back in. Take a quick check, see where we are. Pushing it all the way down, pull it back out. And you can see right there, we're a little bit high on the hash marks, but we're going to give this thing a quick run and let it go ahead and pump oil through, let it run for a few minutes, and then we'll check it again. All right, we're ready to give it a start real quick. We'll give it a few minutes of running here. Let it work the new oil through. And then once it's done that, we will check it again. Okay, we just let the truck run with the fresh oil in it until it got to 100 degrees on the engine temperature according to the dash. Turn it off. Now we'll let it settle for a little bit. But in the meantime, you should always check your air filter. This is on the front left corner of your engine if you don't know where it's at. It's this big honker right here. We'll go ahead and check that while we're waiting on the engine oil to settle down, and we can check it again for level. So first thing you want to do, notice this cable here. We want to get this out of the way. You pop out the little tab. You can use a plastic tool. I just grabbed the first thing in my toolbox. Then you want to squeeze right back here on this black bit. This whole thing comes off back here. This is your mass airflow sensor. And you do that so you can pull it off right back here and lay this aside. Super easy. Don't forget you left your screwdriver up there. I've done that. Pop your tabs, 4 of them, right back there. Then you can tip your air box lid a little bit, bring it out. Now I changed this air filter the last time I changed oil. I do not suspect it to be very dirty, but don't rely on the top. You want to look at the bottom. This is where your air comes in up here. It comes through this first and then comes through here and gets sucked into the engine. So you want to look at this side. We caught a few bees, but otherwise it looks fairly clean. Air box is clean in there. Ooh, we even got a grasshopper. Great days. And a wasp. So clean out your air intake down here. There might be some dust and gravel and sand. But yeah, go ahead and check that in while you're in the process of doing an oil change. It's quick and easy. Okay, cleaned out most of the dead bugs. You can see this one is still good for another round of oil change. We'll probably replace it the next time. But for now, this looks fine. Let's set it back in there. Make sure it seats back in. Take your cover. You're going to break down. Tip it a little bit back. And it should just slide. Oop. One of my latches fold over here. That front one always does that. Okay. Slide that over. Push it back. And just set it down. You can see it sets down nicely. There's no forcing. There's no nothing. And then you just put your little clips right back in place. They're not hard to do. It's not complicated. Doesn't require any great strength. And then we'll put on our mass flow air sensor wire and it'll be done. Push it all the way in. Push your red clip in. Done. Okay, so we let this sit here for about 2 or 3 minutes while we check the air filter. Now we're going to go ahead and we pulled the dipstick out, wiped it off. We're going to get a check on this. Check it out here. You see it's right at the top of the hash marks. So we may put in the other half quart. We may wait and drive this to town once and back and let it sit and check it again before we do that. But you can see it's right up there where it should be. Okay, folks, here we are with the job done. No leaks up underneath. Engine oil's been changed. Air filter's been checked. Ready to get this thing back to work. So, again, like, subscribe, and comment if you'd like to. Appreciate you guys watching. Have a great rest of your day.